friends. Andrew Askins here with the next video in this silly little show that I'm calling Andrew Making Things with Friends. I think that's what I'm calling it. I can't remember. Today I am in Columbia, South Carolina at my parents' house. I've got the day off, and so I wanted to dig back into the startup watching designs, and specifically I was inspired by an episode of the Wandering Aimfully podcast to try to inject a little bit more of myself and my values and what I think the community's values may be into the design, and also find some ways to really separate the design out, make it feel more unique. So I'll be digging into some survey results, looking at some inspiration, and doing a little bit of writing, and then also trying to get my hands dirty and get into Sketch if I have time. Probably going to spend about an hour to 2 hours, depending on how things flow. First things first, I need to promote this. So going to copy the YouTube URL. I've already pre-written a post for Reddit and r/entrepreneur ride along. Boom. Designer news. Boom. Oh, great. 4-4. Okay. Let me just see. What the heck? Oh, okay. All right. Got logged out. No big deal. Password. Cool. Live stream. Redesigning. Startup watching website. Trying to inject some personality. I just realized, yeah, okay. You have my headphones in, they are connected. Always good. Post this story. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll leave this up for now. Okay, leave that there, and then just stick this. I still haven't decided if I'm going to send out an actual newsletter tomorrow or not. I'll try to decide that soon. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and send this. I've not tried to test the subject line or anything. I'm really just trying to get started because I really want to get some work done today rather than focusing on promoting the crap out of this thing. Okay. So, send it now. Doing another live stream, focusing on got the day off. I'm doing I might probably just get rid of that and just link. Yeah, that's probably smarter. Okay. Yes, and now. I look awesome today because I have totally showered. Okie doke. All right. So, as I mentioned before, but I'll just hit it again in case anyone is joining the video. Cool. We have 0 people watching. So I am talking to myself and the maybe tens of people who will watch this someday. Anyway, so I was listening to an episode of the Wandering Aimfully podcast with Jason and Caroline Zook, and they were talking about branding, and I was really inspired. The way they were talking about it got me thinking about the Startup Watching brand, and the thing that they do really, really well is they know who they are and they know who they're trying to serve, and they make that really, really obvious. And they really just inject a lot of personality into their website, let me pull it up real quick. I mean, it really just doesn't look like anything else online. And Caroline's a much, much better designer than I am. So I don't expect to get, super close to what she's done here. And I definitely don't want to copy it, but I really like what they are doing and what they've done. And so I want to try to take some of that and I want to just take that inspiration and I want to figure out what it means for the Startup Watching site. And specifically, I think one thing they do well is, they sort of understand that they are their brand. And that's something that I've always struggled with a little bit. I don't like being the center of attention too much, even though I like taking a leadership role, always have. But I don't love being the center of attention. It's like there's a weird sort of difference there. And so I've kind of struggled to put myself at the very center of my brand. But Startup Watching is mine now, and I think I want to continue to do that and make myself more and more a part of it and make it a part of me. And also I think that will help me to make it different and just find its voice and its personality. And it's going to be a work in progress. I'm not going to get it perfect with this first redesign, but I just want to take a stab at it while I'm still in this design process. So today I'm going to be thinking a lot about how I can do that. I'm going to eventually get into these actual sketch files and do a little bit of work, just playing around with them, moving some stuff around. Probably won't be super polished today. I'll really be just trying to focus on high level concepts instead of polish. But I want to just get started with it. First things first, though, I'm going to be looking into the Startup Watching survey results. So I put out a survey and I don't have all the results in here, but I've got 57. I think I'm closer to 68 or 69 now. I used Typeform for the survey, but I think there's enough here to start to see some of the commonalities. And so I really want to focus. I want to spend a little bit of time digging into that. I've done a little bit of this on my own, but I thought this would maybe be an interesting place to start for this video. So I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to start thinking about, the things that I pull out of here. How do I incorporate those? How do I incorporate more of myself into this redesign? I put together a little mood board with a few elements, and I'll probably keep adding to this as I continue, but I've found a few elements that I really like. So I'll use that as inspiration as well. I'll probably spend a little bit of time writing up some content. So I've got, I copied the about content and the sponsors content. I want to make the content a little bit more friendly. I'm not sure how interesting that'll be to watch on video, so I'll try messing around with it a little bit and we'll see. I also want to try to take a stab at what I think the values of Startup Watching might be. But first things first, let's just start digging into these survey results. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to be looking through these. I'm going to be trying to find the commonalities, trying to find the things that I noticed, and also trying to find the things that resonate to me, because an important part of all of this, again, is I am Startup Watching right now. It's just me. And so if things, aren't resonating with me, then it's not going to be very successful. If I'm not interested in focusing on that part of the audience or that part of the brand, it doesn't matter if a bunch of people want it. If I'm not interested in it, it's going to be really hard for me to do it. So one thing I am really interested in is helping people feel more fulfilled, because I really believe that people who become entrepreneurs, yes, they sort of do it for the money. Like people, all of us would like to make a lot of money someday, for different reasons. Some of us, it's so that we can be secure and not have to worry about money. For some of us, it's so that we can help other people. For some of us, it's just because we like nice things and want to have a comfortable life. All of those things are fine. But most of us aren't in this for the money. Most of us are in it because, we don't like working a typical day job. We're willing to put in the extra hours and the sweat, even though it is so hard, because we want something more and we want something different. And that's something I noticed in my first read through here. And so I'm going to be focusing a lot on that. I'm also going to be trying to look at how people describe themselves, to find, some interesting things there that I can maybe pull out, and just to help me understand like who the audience really is. But really, I think I'm going to be focusing mostly on these two questions here that I asked. What is the thing you're struggling with most right now? What's a small thing that could make a big impact for you right now? Because those things tell me what people are working on and trying to figure out in their lives. This one here, how do you describe yourself, will be helpful. Country you're based in is definitely interesting. So I'll probably go through that. So let's start digging in here. So I guess I'll start over here. How do you describe yourself? So we've got unconventional knowledge explorer. So that's pretty interesting. That's definitely a different sort of explanation. This person's a business strategist. This person's in product design, but they call themselves an anthropologist. That's also super interesting. I shouted this person out in the newsletter. I'll be shouting out 2 more people in the newsletter. So if you're on the newsletter and you haven't taken the survey yet, take it, and I'll be shouting out some random people who I just think have interesting responses. Outgoing globetrotter, trying to make this place a better one. So there we go. Like, they're trying to do something more than just make a bunch of money. They're trying to make the world a better place. And it's almost become like a trope of startup world, is like make the world a better place. But it's also true. And I think that's one of the things that's really special and interesting about this, community and about startups in general. Female founder, coffee guzzler. I like that. Co-parenting 2 adopted girls around running a startup. Wow, got a lot going on. London, England, Sweden, South Africa, the US, another US. Very happy man, very lucky too. That's awesome. Strategist for entrepreneurs. I help entrepreneurs design their new businesses. Okay, brand product designer, USA. Cool. Macedonia, Ireland, France, Netherlands, Spain, Netherlands. And this is cool. In physical terms, the United States, psychologically and spiritually key to. I guess I'm saying that right. New Zealand. I've lived in New York, USA, Canada, UK, US, formerly Mexico, cool. South Africa, US, currently in the US, originally from Germany, Canada, US, UK, US, Argentina, US, Netherlands, US, UK, Scotland, digital nomad, currently in Croatia, cool. US, Belarus, India, UK, United States, Spain, Israel, US. So we've also got a really, I guess I should start a document here, maybe. Let's do this. What am I going to call this? Survey observations? Start there. And if anyone's watching this might seem boring, but understanding who you're trying to serve is just so important. So survey observations. So I'm just going to create just sort of a random list here, but definitely large concentration in US. But really spread out all over the world, which is cool. Like, that's awesome. That all of these people around the world and countries I've never even been to are bothering to read my newsletter. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Worldly, global. Yeah. That's something that I need to figure out. I don't know how I'm going to focus on that, but that's cool. And so that's something that makes this community interesting for sure. All right. How do you describe yourself? This is where I was trying to start and then I got distracted. So outgoing globetrotter, trying to make this place a better one. Female founder, coffee guzzler, Very happy man, very lucky too. Love that perspective. I help entrepreneurs design their new businesses. A person that loves startup culture and loves to write. Engineer. Nope, sorry. My question was too general, I guess. Creator. Always learning and open to change. Innovative, design thinking, early adapter. Demonically devoted to doing the right thing, loyal to a fault. An escape artist when I'm overwhelmed. Charismatic, unique, and have nerve and talent. Curious, passionate about living, risk taker. Creative web developer. Love music, movies, and my kids. What's interesting here is that like people are talking a little bit about work, but they're really talking more about like a lot of times it's like, oh, I'm a founder. But like outgoing globetrotter trying to make this place a better one, like that doesn't say anything about work. And you'd think that a bunch of people who are into startups would be super obsessed with work. But what's interesting is when people are describing themselves here, like this person's describing their business, loves startup culture, loves to write. This person's just saying, I'm an engineer. That's pretty straightforward. Creator, that's cool because that's kind of a different. So the ConvertKit like brand has gone all in on the creator, people who identify as creators. Always learning and open to change. But people are really describing some deeper stuff than just like what they do. I'm seeing creative and curious. So let's see, what was this question? How do you describe yourself? I guess where are you located? So how do you describe yourself? So I'm seeing creative, curious, care about family. I'm a digital creative. I design user experiences as well as do brand development. Super driven and a thirst for knowledge and improving on personal capabilities and business skills. Driven is probably a good word. That could be passionate about living, risk taker, innovative, design thinking, always learning and open to change, creative, curious, open to change, risk takers. Creative's definitely coming up a lot. Caring about family is also coming up a lot, which I love. Basically a workaholic that loves what he does way too much. Yep. Currently studying business and systems analysis. Leave a legacy and have a real impact. Family, want to make an impact. Three times founder, innovation PM. So I'm seeing founder a little bit here. Curious mind again, love for strategy and design, always striving for more. So I think driven, that driven word is probably good here. Make an impact, founder, workhorse, ordinary guy trying to live an extraordinary life. So yeah, want more out of life. General manager, okay. I'm a health tech professional looking for opportunities. So that one's a little more work focused. But again, make a significant human impact in a difficult industry. Like people want to make an impact. Or at least think they do, which is, just as important. Vivacious, sharp, fast, driven and creative, optimistic. I love that one. I'm definitely optimistic. And I think most entrepreneurs are too, because I think you wouldn't really be an entrepreneur. Also interesting, I was about to say I haven't seen people use the entrepreneur word a whole lot, but then there goes somebody. Is that the first person who's used it? I'm seeing founder and creator a little bit more than entrepreneur. No idea really. It's been years since I had to describe myself to anyone. Weird as fuck. I appreciate the honesty. Passionate. Way too sarcastic, witty, and corny for the average person, but incredibly fun, nice, and ambitious. Marketing king. Wow. I like making things, helping people, and learning new things. I'd say that falls under creative. What's a word for like want to help people? What's a word for want to help people? Hey, 8 people who are watching this. 1? Oh, nope. I hate when that happens. How do I get comments up? I'm still very new to this, and I'm really bad at it. No, I don't want overlays. Options. Window. Comments and reactions. Hey, there we go. Hey, 8 people who are watching, 9 people who are watching this. 1, hello, thank you. I'm Andrew. 2, help me come up with a single word that sums up like wanting to help people. Like empathy, empathetic is kind of there. That's like caring about people. What is a good word? Oh, we're down to 7 people. So 2 people don't want to help with coming up with a good word, but that's okay. Words are hard. Anyway, entrepreneur. Okay, so we've got 2 people who've used entrepreneur, molded by diversity, generally happy, family oriented. Okay, there we go. Care about family. Whoop. Family oriented. We've got a lot of people who are family oriented, which is cool because I feel like that's not something that I expected. I mean, I think most people care about their family, but I didn't expect that to be something that people highlighted. So that's cool. Fulfilled, spiritual, mission driven. Ooh, okay, maybe that's a good word. Mission driven. Mission driven. So generally driven, but then also mission driven. Those 2 might be too close together, but whatever. This is just creative and driven. Boom. Great. Hardworking entrepreneur, designer, product lover. All right. I'm going to throw founder, entrepreneur, designer, engineer. I've seen engineer a couple times now. Not helping with the stereotypes, though, guys and gals, because most of the engineer responses have been a little more straightforward and to the point. Dedicated husband and father. Again, family is just super important, which is, it is really important. Product design consultant, ambitious. I think it's sort of, I think ambitious and driven are very similar. They're tall and funny. Okay. So people like humor, funny, humor. I mean, who doesn't like humor? I guess somebody out there. Ambitious young developer, eager to learn, learner, rational being, logophile, thinker, curious and self-taught. Man, curious, quirky. I like quirky a lot. Quirky. Goal-oriented leader. I am 5'11" tall from bottom to top and vice versa. Oh, yeah, this was my friend being a hilarious asshole. So he also is apparently now a semi-professional apple picker. I mean, his responses are really pretty great. Right now, he really needs help searching for the right flag emoji. Something that would help him a lot is an ice cube dispenser that only puts out coffee ice cubes. And of course, he works 2 desks down from me, and he's afraid I'll steal his stuff. Well, you should be afraid, Andy. I'm coming for you. Also, he requested that he start getting the newsletter via direct mail instead of email. So if anyone else would like a physical copy of the newsletter, hit me up and I'll ignore you. Developer with an eye to start a startup solving problems for people. Cool. In the process of refiguring myself out, aren't we all? Shout out to you, Bulgarian product manager. I am a community planner and PR pro who's passionate about health equity. Cool. And addressing the social determinants of health. Neat. Curious, hardworking, and funny. Hardworking. Is that one in there? We've got creative, curious, open to change, risk takers, driven, optimistic, mission driven, quirky. A lot of people think they're funny. Hardworking. I guess I'll leave funny and humor down there. Again, these are all just notes for me. This person describes themselves as growth strategies working in blockchain. Okay, cool. Like I said, there were a few other responses, but yeah, I think this is enough. I certainly started to see some commonalities, which is cool because this gives me an idea of like what people care about. So people see themselves as creative. They see themselves as curious. So they really want to learn. They're open to change, taking risks, driven, optimistic, mission-driven, quirky, funny, and hardworking. So I would say right now, Startup Watching does a pretty decent job. Like the brand and the newsletters probably do a decent job of highlighting like this one and maybe like this one. And I occasionally try to include some mission-driven stuff. Sort of driven, hardworking, but like I don't think I include a lot of humor. I try to inject a little bit whenever I can. I think I could definitely up the quirk factor, the creative factor. Yeah, so I think there's a lot here that can be improved on. So that's cool. That's got me excited. Okay, and then what is the thing you're struggling with most right now? So I'm just gonna, same thing here. I think this is probably more effective than what I was trying to do initially is highlight things that seem to be sort of the same. But I think just reading through them and then pulling out the elements that are similar is probably good. Although I can do a little bit of both. Okay, so what is the thing you were struggling with most right now? Finding a tech co-founder, collaborator. Okay, so that's sort of like, it's literally finding a co-founder, but it's also, wanting to be connected to another person, wanting to be in this with another person, not wanting to be alone. Transitioning from a normal career to entrepreneur. So what I hear there is that entrepreneur is seen as an abnormal career, which I think is accurate. I guess the same as all, juggling work and private time, if there's a distinction between the two. Otherwise, learning meditating, it's harder than I thought. Yes, meditation is hard. Also, juggling work and private time is very hard. Time, not enough of it, not enough control over it. Yep. So, survey observations. What is the thing you're struggling with? Time, work, life balance. Community development, how to get a small but global group of people to do what they have said they are going to do. I am also struggling with community development, so shout out to you. Trying to decide what to outsource and manage without doing everything myself. So delegating, like learning sort of management skills, maybe learning management skills. I think that could be the one above it as well. Procrastination and lack of job opportunities. Yep, that's tough. Lack of time. So there's another one for time. Nothing in particular. Good. I'm glad. Finding good espresso. Straightforward. I don't think Startup Watching is going to help you a ton with finding good espresso. I don't know shit about espresso, but I hope you find it. How to do research and demand validation. Okay, that's a pretty specific one. That's cool. Complexity of market, quick changes. Okay. This one's sad. But they said they're struggling just kind of with life. And I think that's something we can relate to. Energy. and time and money to continue moving my startup forward. So burnout, lack of energy, lack of money is something that several people have said now. How do I find new clients for my agency business? We had someone. Research and demand validation, that's kind of similar. Making time for my venture, time again, maximizing productivity. Maximizing productivity, that's something someone else has said. People, okay, people and patience. Telling people over and over how UX writing is not marketing, that's a fair struggle. This person also said equal pay for women when asked for a small thing they would like. And man, I wish I could just wave a magic wand and make that happen. That would be awesome. Also, nice of you to, want that over like some little thing for yourself. I mean, I guess maybe you are a woman, so that would help you. Maybe you aren't. I don't know. Time management, life and work balance, very common. Not being able to build my own app. Okay. Too many things on my mind. Want to try too many things. Okay, so want to try too many things. Distraction, lack of clarity. That's something I've seen up above. Software tools, still cobbling together myriad things to get the job done. Sigh. Oh, that's cool. This person would love an organized way to discover people of color and women-owned startups so that they can buy from them and support them in other ways. That's awesome. Andy Ayim, I'm butchering your last name, Andy. I'm really sorry. But he runs a newsletter called People of Color in Tech, I believe. No, wait, sorry, that's a different newsletter. One second. This is Andy. He's really nice. He's got a newsletter. Maybe it doesn't have a name. I know I subscribe to it, but it's a really good newsletter. So if you're someone who is focused on, who really cares about diversity, which I'm going to mention that as well. I don't know if that's really a struggle thing. Lack of opportunities for, what's the word? Underrepresented people. Okay. This person's struggling with connecting with someone inspiring, meeting someone that can mentor me, finding a good mentor. Oh, this is all, what's a small thing? Ooh, I'll come back to that. That's good to know. What up? What's a small thing that could help you right now? Mentor. Lots of people want mentors. Okay, where were we? Boom, software tools. Fulfilling my own expectations, simply being satisfied with the current state of things in a role that might not be the perfect fit, but what role would ever be? It's a tough one. So feeling fulfilled is what I see there. Feeling fulfilled. Scaling, keeping up with growth. Yep. Career direction. Finding the right balance between work, marriage, fun, health, relationships. Scaling from one-man band. Okay, so that's a couple people who've mentioned scaling now. Scaling. Balancing work, family, personal goals, and responsibilities. Yeah, so more about balance. Finding time to balance between client work, admin work, writing my own content, and marketing efforts. Not enough hours in the day. Take my business from step 1 to 10. Time to grow fast with a validated business model. Find a scalable way to acquire users. So scaling, imposter syndrome, choosing a career path, growing the podcast audience at a rapid rate. Not much. That's good. My fantasy football season. That is my buddy Austin. I destroyed him last week in fantasy football. So you're welcome, Austin. I'm not helping you with that one. Sorry. Prioritization of product development. Yep, that's tough. I feel like we've had some people mention sort of similar things. So like research what to build. That's a tough one. Bandwidth, never get through my to-do list. Still in the early days of doing business, so the journey is still full of ups and downs. Trying to lock down a regular, reliable paycheck is difficult, and this is the reason I've been pursuing other forms of side income, continuing to develop my own personal brand, and use as a platform to do other exciting things. Traction and work-life balance. Sales pipeline, differentiation from outsourced firms, signal to noise. So that's sort of focus a little bit too. Self-fulfillment, stabilizing my emotions, avoiding worries, finding a suitable project to teach myself React. So I kind of feel like, one, you know how physical education is like a thing in all public schools, at least here in the US, like you have to go to PE and they force you to like sort of move a little bit. I think mental education should be the same way, and we should just all be forced to like go through therapy. I think it would be really good for all of us, like as kids and then hopefully as adults too. Anyway, time management. Yeah, man. Time, work-life balance, time management. Stuff's all huge. I struggle with it too, by the way. Still struggling with it, always trying to get better. Funding, hiring, management, pricing, retention. So just like everything there is with a business. Relationships, planning the next magazine. Oh, that's cool. But also sleep. Fair. User and partner growth. I'm seeing some like scaling growth for initiation to start side projects with someone having trouble getting started, turning data into strategy, not being able to proactively contact my user base in fear of GDPR. You shouldn't be afraid of GDPR. It basically just says don't be shitty about the way you contact your user base. Scaling innovations and supporting open source work, but also you're in Bulgaria, so you deal with this a lot more than I do. Handle people on my team, so that's like some sort of people and management stuff. We're learning management skills, people. That was a pretty common one. Working with people. A really good resource for that is, what is it called? Claire Liu. Know Your Company. Claire Liu is a really badass, wonderful, awesome, creative, interesting person, at least from reading her stuff. I think she is. Never met her. Would love to. She runs Know Your Company, and they help people be better managers, which is really cool. Lead generation and sales. Okay, so I'll put that one on there too. I've seen that one enough. Lead generation and sales. Okay, so of these, the ones that I'm, I think, most interested right now in helping people with, like lead generation and sales, I'm not sure I'm good enough at that. But this feeling fulfilled, like that one's really interesting to me. Work-life balance and time management is really interesting to me. Maximizing productivity. Learning management skills and people skills. That one's also very, very, very interesting to me. all of these things are honestly interesting, but this sort of top half are the things that I think I'm most interested in. And like this one right here, this work-life balance is by far the most common one that I saw. Okay, so I'm going to try to move a little quickly here because we've been at this for about 40 minutes and I want to get to at least a little bit of design work. Also, there's only 4 people here now, so I might be boring people to death. I hope I'm not. This is really, really interesting to me, but might not be as interesting to other people. So, just going to real quickly run through what's a small thing that can make a big impact for you right now. And then I might even skip that. Well, I'll just run through it real fast. And then I want to go over the mood board. And then I was going to try to write up some values. We'll see how far I get. See what happens. So what's a small thing that can make a big impact for you? Introduction to technologists. Interested in building, so meeting other people. Meeting people. Okay. 1 more hour in a day. Human cloning. Small things, guys. Small things. 1 more person choosing to believe in the vision. Exploring a more productized offering for my services. A job or a client. Financial freedom. Okay. Get a good idea of startup. A good startup idea. Okay. A good espresso. Again, helpful. Discover a few more techniques about how to validate products. So I'm seeing a lot more validation here. Validation, idea generation, which is interesting. Okay. Platform development, ecosystem thinking, interesting. Someone paying my rent. That one's gonna be tough. Sorry. I really hope your dog is okay. I need to reach out to you. An influential customer. So I'm seeing customers. Building a login payment system, so getting something done. It's causing me untold stress because I've just built it up so long in my head I'm frozen. Oh, that sucks. Getting over mental blocks. Getting started. Manage their time. Equal pay for women. So equality. Dev my business idea into a viable solution. So develop my business idea. Connecting with someone inspiring, meeting someone that can mentor me on data, a new job. Oh, that sucks. Having a bad job is no fun. Finding a good mentor, double my rates, a mentor. Tipping point where I can take on admin to take all of the non-skill-based tasks off my hands. So growth hacking and a solid digital marketing strategy, no bullshit. So growing, marketing, interesting. So these, bread. I would also like some bread. I'm kind of hungry. A lucrative offer. Yeah. Seeing examples of how people begin daunting projects. Ooh, that's interesting. I'm going to write that one down exactly as is because that one's interesting. Examples of how people begin a daunting project. And I'm getting so many ideas from this. I need to stay focused. Spreading the word on the podcast, growing and marketing, really solid content on project management. I got you, Austin. More specifically, Laura's got you, and then I'll steal her content and put it in Startup Watching as well. Getting a bit healthier, that's tough. Time box when I read and respond to emails and messages versus do deep work. Interesting. Getting a shout out from somebody or a guest email post on a website or blog who share a similar audience with me. Help me get the last few email subscribers needed to hit my end year goal. Oh, awesome. All right, I'm going to make a note. Roots Furniture, a startup building bespoke furniture and interior fittings in Scotland. Dope. I can help you out with a shout out for sure. Okay. First paying customer. Yep. One-on-one introductions for potential clients. Yep. Sales pipeline. Customer sales. Having been heard. Realizing the importance of time. Laptop that isn't dying. That stuff. I'm sorry. Money, funding. So capital. So this is basically turning into a list of all the things that entrepreneurs need. Mentors, validation, idea generation, customer sales, getting started, managing their time, equality, growing marketing, project management, and capital. Raise New York City intros to lifestyle brands. So I would say the big ones here are customer sales. I saw that a lot. I saw growing marketing a lot. I saw like this one. I'm going to combine this one as well. And then like mentor and meeting people. Oh, and money. So again, basically all the things that startups need. Cool. So yeah, all right. So I want to, this is cool. Creative, curious, driven. If I had to like pull out the stuff here that summarizes, I would say creative, curious, driven, optimistic. I'll use mission driven as well. I need to find a better word there, but mission driven, quirky, funny. That's 7 words. I need to get that down. But these are the words that people use to describe themselves a lot. And so these are the things that I want to make sure come across and in both the copy of the page and the branding itself and like the design. Like, is the design creative? Is it optimistic? I think so. This optimistic one is cool because that's one of the big reasons I decided to do a redesign. So for anyone who hasn't seen it before, this is the old Startup Watching website, which is very like dark and techy and didn't feel at all optimistic to me. And so then this is the new Startup Watching design, which is intended to be, much lighter. The goal was for this to be much lighter, brighter, be much more friendly and optimistic, and yeah. So I'm excited to see that. I think we're on the right track there. I'm not sure. I'm starting to second guess myself, which is dangerous because I could spend all year going back and forth on design. I'm starting to second guess myself about the search, but I definitely want to bring some more content to the homepage, because what I really want to do is I want to create something. I want to tell people I want people to land on this page and be like, oh shit, I'm home. I then want people to also interact with the content and find the things they're looking for and all of that. So I got to find the right balance there. But yeah. Okay, so this was super, super helpful for me. I hope watching me do this was helpful for some of you as well. I don't know if it was, but I'm really hoping that it was, because again, understanding your audience is so important. And I know this is the kind of content that like people don't show a lot of, like people show more of the actual digging into the design work. But this part is like so important. It's just like learning what people care about. And so what's really interesting is, a lot of people are struggling with feeling fulfilled, learning management skills with time, work-life balance. But then when asked what's a small thing that could help them right now, sales and customers, there's still some of that managing their time and everything, but sales and customers were like more prevalent than they were before, I think. So that was interesting to me. But I love this. This gives me a summary of who our audience is: creative people, curious people, driven, optimistic, mission driven too, quirky and funny. Okay, so I'm gonna just look at my mood board real quick, and then how far in are we? An hour in. Okay. So I'm not sure how much work I'm actually going to be able to get done on the design today, but I'll maybe spend another half an hour or so working on all of this. And so what I'll do is I'll just go over my mood board and sort of go over. I won't focus on content because that could take a really long time, but I'll just start to mock up some of the things and play around with some of the things that I want to do, and I won't work on getting them real polished, but I'll just try to get them mocked up. So this mood board, I basically, I spent some time just looking at the things that I liked on other people's sites that I felt like were missing from mine. And so, yeah, I just wanted to find, it's always this balance of like, you don't want to straight up copy someone or steal from someone. And, most of us like know that. But then also, you don't just want to like, take stuff from other people's sites and not have your own things. But at the same time, I'm someone who very much like, I need to sort of look at other things and see some inspiration in order to get ideas. So I just started, I looked around, and that's actually something Caroline talked about, was like looking inward. Caroline's look, again, on that Wandering Aimfully podcast that got me inspired to like really think about all this stuff and dig into it, talked a lot about looking inward for your brand, and not just looking at other people. But I think maybe what you do is you look inward, to figure out like what are the things you want more of, but then you can also look at other people who you feel like do similar things and look at how they're incorporating those things, and then try to figure out how to bring that into your own. So yeah, you'll see there's a bunch of elements here from Jason and Caroline, and you'll notice too, they actually they have some very similar words: curious, hardworking, unconventional. So that's cool. They're focused on independent creatives. I think want to earn more so they can. I mean, this is awesome stuff. And it's, our community is going to be kind of similar, I think, but different in its own way too. Like, I would classify our people as creative people, but I would say there may be people who want to make an impact more, who I want to highlight that optimism. I want to highlight, I do want to highlight the quirky and the funny, but that's maybe going to be a bigger part of their brand. Well, but I don't know. I'll think about it. Um, I also loved that they put their core values on the site. This was something I talked about doing today. I don't know if I'm going to get to it, but I think core values are like a really awesome thing to have that help drive you. They also just help you make decisions when you're stuck. They talk about what they believe in, which is really cool. So a few just things that, so they believe in working to live, not living to work, rejecting the norm and carving your own paths, embracing your uniqueness, being better together, helping each other. So that's really cool. What I liked here is, again, they make themselves very much a part of their brand. Like if you look, I mean, they're in the background there. They make themselves, they put their faces everywhere, but not in like a way that feels egotistical, just in a way that's like, hey, this is like, you probably want to know who's behind all this. And I think that's something I want to do a little bit more of, because right now I'm just like not in this at all, which is fine, but I think it would feel more personal and feel more interesting if there was someone in it. And this too, like Hidden Shah, who has just an incredible newsletter. I steal content from him all the time. So I don't love this, like the way he, like the entire focus of his site is like this ebook. It's interesting. And he's very focused on like product people. It's interesting. I think it's not really us, but I did like hear how he found this balance of like, he makes it about him. He incorporates himself into this, like his name's here, but it's also under this like brand. And Wandering Ainsley kind of does that too. I liked this like sort of idea of like maybe a letter or something. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Okay. And then the last thing that I want to try to incorporate a little bit more of is I want to think better about how I'm like displaying this content, because like this featured, latest, popular, like that's kind of interesting if you're just like looking for sort of the latest stuff. Like maybe I'll keep it, maybe I won't. I'm not totally sure. One, I kind of like this style here a lot, so I might play with that style for some of the stuff. Like I might sort of copy this. I think it would fit really nicely because I've got this like bar element a little bit here. This is one of the things I do. Like I kind of believe that it's okay to copy individual elements as long as you're not copying like an entire site. Like take 3 sites, copy the typography for one, the color scheme for another, and at least when you're starting out and you're still not a good designer. So you kind of have to like, you mimic first and then over time you develop your own style, but yeah, it takes time. And then I loved this, and this was actually, so this all came from the digital project manager, which is really cool. Really cool site that I'd never knew about. I will probably be including some of their content, so they have some really, really awesome content. But I really liked how they, one, they focus a lot more on tools than I think I want to. I just find tools boring. I find people more interesting. But I loved how they had these how-to guides. And I also loved this like check out our recommended reading. Like that was really cool to me. And I think you could have like, so like my idea is to take that. And so they just have it sort of laid out here. Not sure where to begin. And so I kind of love having that sort of element. But I kind of like the idea of maybe taking it and making it more, more like start here if this, start here if that. So like start here if you're struggling, and maybe like focusing it around outcomes. So like, start here if you're struggling with work-life balance. Start here if you're trying to learn people skills. Start here and like maybe creating collections. Like, so one of the cool things about the site that I'm building is I'm using this theme, Chipmunk, and it has this built-in idea of collection. So it's all about curating content and then collecting, like organizing that content. And these collections, for the most part, I was thinking of them as just like, sort of categories like inspiration, design, product, sales, marketing, growth, fundraising. But then I was like, what if I could also organize them around outcomes, especially on like the homepage. Like I could still make it possible for you to find all of this stuff, but on the homepage, I could focus a little bit more on outcomes. And so my thought there was like, if you're struggling with sales, here's 10 recommended pieces of reading to help you like get better at sales. If you're struggling with work-life balance, here's 10 pieces to help you. I think that would be kind of more interesting to me than just like, here's all the stuff on sales. No, it's like, here's the 10 pieces that we recommend reading. And then if you want to see all the stuff, you can click here. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. These are the elements. Oh, and then this was just another way of, so yeah, Brennan Dunn on his Double Your Freelancing site groups things sort of in that way, where it's like here are all of the things about this. And then here's a couple where you can get started. So I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting approach as well. So these are all the pieces that I'm thinking about incorporating. So how are we doing? Oh, nope, did not mean to do that. That was my face. All right, so we're an hour in. I have only eaten 2 bananas today, so I'm getting a little drained. But I do want to take some time and try to incorporate some of these things. At least just start playing around with them a little bit. It's going to be a little tricky, and I'll probably need to get some help and probably need to spend some time on my own, just like heads down, buried, just trying a bunch of stuff. But I at least wanted to try a couple things today so that there was a little bit of design content in this video as well, and it wasn't all just like me digging through survey results. So I think I'll just pick, like, maybe I'll just start just focused on this header here and think through a little bit like how I can incorporate a little bit more personality into that. And I probably won't get to the solution today, but I think it would be worth trying. So with all that said, I'm just going to start digging in here. So this is for you, Austin. I'm going to not just start working on my homepage, but I'm going to make a copy of my homepage, something I do not do often enough. And I have at least created a lot of these things as symbols now, so that's helpful. So it's a little more organized than it was before. I'm just gonna click, nope, shit. Not good at Sketch. Whee! Pull that down. I'm just gonna pull this like all the way down so that I can play around with doing some of this stuff that I want to do. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay. So I'm thinking this will probably be like kind of reworked. Like I kind of like this, like these two styles more. I think those fit a little bit better with the overall style that I'm trying to go for. I may end up reworking these cards too. Oy. I gotta decide. because I like how clean something like this looks. That looks nice. That looks real nice. A little read more, a little splash of color, a couple more colors, almost always a good thing. Yeah, fuck it. Let's just try it. Alright, one of these is probably not a. Yeah. Haha. Delete that. So this one's not as simple, so it'll be easier to work with. Whoop. For now, at least. I'm going to delete that one too. Okay. This one's a little. Let's actually try changing the text of this to something that would actually be. So let's go to. Might help me just think through this stuff a little bit better. Nope, not that one. Okay. Because yeah, that's another thing I'm gonna have to think through. Is it's gonna be super fun. So start with this one. Even though people did not click on this one a ton, but I thought it was interesting. So I'm gonna use it as my example anyway. Because sometimes things aren't all about clicks, y'all. Oh, no. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, crap. Okay. Ah, crap. No, I just want that. Nope. There we go. I'm just eyeballing this right now. I'll make it accurate later. Okay. So, do people really care about the dates here? If I go dates, if I go with this like dates and views thing, then that's definitely more. It's definitely has a little more techie, sort of platformy kind of feel. I think what I'm trying to do is give this a little bit more personal. So I'm going to try getting rid of all this stuff actually. And then I'm just going to do like a read more thing. And I'm just going to use a totally not fancy button for right now. Okay. And then what I want to try is actually getting rid of the card here. So that's interesting. I do kind of like that. And then go to my colors. And then make this like maybe a bold. I'm also going to be having, I'll probably have emojis with almost all of these. So I wonder if I could even get rid of the, are people also going to find it annoying? I could. Is that interesting enough? Might be. Okay. And then let's try making this like a sort of boom. I might make this black if I do it this way. And then give me a little line here. Let's make that like 4. Make it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm being weird. Is that light? It's a little weird. I take quality very seriously in my videos. We could do something like that. And now we're reusing. Oh, that looks kind of bad. Austin can probably help me figure out how to make it look less bad. Interesting. So that definitely feels a little more in line. How did they do? So it might help. Featured articles. It definitely needs to be like featured articles. Featured reads. Interesting. So something like that does actually feel like it fits in a little bit better with like the brand aesthetic. And then you could have this concept like did here. I don't know what the play button there's for. That's interesting. But you could have like these sort of other. Why did I just look at my phone? I'm in the middle of a live stream. So you could also then create. I kind of just want to steal this button here. I want to steal the button. I'll do it the hard way. So you could create like kind of like that. Get rid of the border. Like this color. And then you could do something like struggling with sales. And obviously this would have like the same crap. Austin showed me how to whatever. For right now I'll just do that. Struggling with sales. Make this color. And I'll either have to make this larger, something like that. I like how they have the little icon there. That definitely helps. And then let's do another little text thing here. Only we're gonna make this movie like regular, size like 14. Check out. Check out these 10 articles to jumpstart your your sales process. That's kind of interesting. And then we'd have like one of, So then I might have to have like might have to make this like oh, my computer is trying to take off. Might have to develop like some sort of link style. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. And then, of course, what's the sales emoji? I'm trying real hard to just use emojis as like everything. Sales. Money. I don't know how well it's gonna work. Okay, so we might have to make this like a different color. Also make it like a little bit bigger. Something like that. Yeah. Let's try making the color like ooh, that looks sexy. Ooh, no. So I'm pretty much stuck with like one of these three colors. But that's kind of interesting to me, because then I could create these sort of like little guys and then scatter them throughout. Oh, all right. I should probably group that. So yeah, I definitely like that style and that element. I'll have to figure out what to do here with my collections, but you know, these could almost be my collections. It's like, just make a bunch of these. I would like them to be different colors, but maybe I can make them all the same color, and just having different emojis will make them interesting enough. And I'll have to come back through and try to make my copy weirder and more interesting. Read these. And then I wanted to experiment with, even though I feel a little corny doing it, some ways to incorporate myself and my face and this beautiful face. Woo! So pretty. When you start live streaming for an hour and 18 minutes, you start just acting real weird. Okay. All right. I'm going to try. Okay, so I've got a couple elements now that I really like. So that's progress. I like these more than what I had before. They feel more in line with what I'm trying to do. So I can sort of there's something kind of like this. Oh no, that's not good. Definitely needs to be left aligned. And there's this thing which I'll figure out how to use, but like I like it because it looks like the buttons, but it also it looks nice and clean and modern. A little more so than these guys. So I got to figure out how to like replicate all these. And then is like curated knowledge from the startup world. I need to think about if that is the best. Oh, I just heard probably my. Oh yeah, they died. AirPods are dead, I think.
Oh, they weren't quite dead. There might not be enough light in this room now. Better? Worse? Who knows? We're making do. Once again, my hair looks beautiful because I have totally showered today. Okay, cool. So I like these elements. I think that's something that I can work with later and just find ways to use more of. So then the last thing that I kind of wanted to like experiment with, maybe I'll just take like this guy here, copy that. I don't think this is gonna look great, but like kind of take that element and do, still have to be like regular probably, but I might make it, yeah, like this larger size or something. And then make it white and try doing like the letter type thing. I don't want to just copy hidden. I mean, it's not going to be a copy of hidden. Hey there, my name is Andrew. Curator, owner of startup. And this is not going to be final content. I'm just writing this so that I'll have something to use for the design. You're a creative, curious, and driven person who wants to leave a lasting impact on the world. You gotta drag this over here so I can actually see it. In the world, while also without driving yourself into the ground in the process, and you're in the right place. Holy shit, that's a long sentence. Welcome to Startup Watching, our positive, supportive little corner of the internet. Here you'll find like-minded people, and I'm still figuring out, I've got some ideas about how to eventually incorporate the community aspect more into the site, but I'm not quite there yet. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that, but at the very least there will now be, you know, the ability to comment on things, so discussion can happen. I think that'll probably be a little clunky and it may not last, I'm not sure, but it's at least a start. So here you'll find like-minded people, as well as knowledge, inspiration, and background stories from entrepreneurs and founders around the world. So again, I'm not great at this, and this is all just sample content, but notice how I'm trying to take those words that we found earlier that people were using to describe themselves, and I'm trying to incorporate that in here. And they're also the words that, you know, people are using to describe themselves, but that resonate with me too, so that I can be excited about this. And anyway. hope you'll join us and find your path to a more fulfilling life. That sounds like way hyperbole. Cheers from Charleston. Andrew. And then I would probably probably actually God, that sounds so corny, but whatever. Sample content. Okay, so I separated this out here so that I can try to drop my face in there. What? Oh, you know what would be kind of fun and corny? So if anyone happened to see my little video about making the new banner for this YouTube channel, maybe you're watching this on YouTube, probably. I don't know. Actually, that's the only place you can watch it. Start up watching. X. Where did I put this? What? Shit. Huh. I could have sworn it was in here somewhere. Okay. Pictures. I could have sworn it was in here. I also want to incorporate these eyes into the site. I think that'll be fun. Well, child. Where else could they have gone? I know I saved it somewhere. Okay, so what I'm looking for is I created this goofy. Here, I'll just go to my YouTube channel. Created this goofy. Boom, boom. Created this goofy little banner here, making things with friends, and this like picture, this old picture of me, like with my hands up in the air, just being silly. And so I thought it'd be kind of funny if I made that like my little picture right here instead of just a standard avatar. But now I can't find it. Where would I have saved that? I thought I could have sworn I saved it there. Here's a picture of Austin's head. He looks really chubs in that picture, but it's just a bad picture. He's not actually. He loves when I share that with people. I actually made this originally to get it turned into some stickers. I forgot to order some more yesterday when we were ordering some other stickers, so I'll have to go back and do that. Oh, YouTube. Ha! Here we go. This is going to be goofy AF, but let's try it. It's also a real bad cutout. You can see like colors around the edges of my fingers, but if you make it small enough, you can't really tell. Does that work at all? Sort of. It's so small you can't really see anything. It's definitely optimistic and quirky. If those are two of the things we're going for. Maybe I'll do it over here. Put that back. That, and then I could have it. I don't know how much I'm liking this mask. Nope. What? Ah. Move forward. Move forward. There we go. Oh, shit. Move forward. Okay. So, God, that's goofy as hell. Once there's some more emojis in here, that'll help. World. Is there a good internet emoji? Oh, computer? Maybe just positive? Let's go simple ass smile. Or would the cat, does this grinning cat face say positive more than the other one? I'm analyzing emoji usage way too much, but oh great, now it's stuck on grinning cat face. Okay. So I don't know if I love that, but it is more personality than was in the site before, for sure. And so, we gotta try stuff. We gotta try stuff and see what we can come up with. So I definitely like these elements. I'm gonna find a way to use these elements. That's also just like kind of a wall of text, so it might not be the right fit for this. Like doing something more in line with what Wandering Aimfully tried to do, where it was like, hey, here's a very small amount of text to read. Might be good. I might also have to hire someone to actually take some pictures so that I have more to work with. It also helps with them that there's a couple of people. I should probably write the content first and then potentially hire someone or just get one of my friends to take some pictures of me. Could have some fun with it, be real goofy. But yeah, that's a start. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap things up here. It's been about an hour and a half, and I've at least started to experiment. I hope this was helpful for all of you. If you enjoyed it, I'm going to do that stereotypical YouTuber thing where I say, please subscribe, because right now the only way I really have of getting the word out about these is posting them to Reddit and Designer News and sharing them with my newsletter, which also is actually like a pretty good way to get the word out. But it would be cool if eventually I didn't have to do that and I could just like post a video and people would watch it. That would be pretty neat. So yeah, if you want to subscribe, that would be great. I'll be doing some more design work. As you can see, I kind of had this idea that I'd be like done with designing the website in like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 videos. But there's a lot more work that still needs to be done. I need to figure out how to apply all of these styles. I need to implement all of the changes that Austin suggested. And then I still have all of these pages to finish. So I'll definitely not be live streaming all of the design work. I'll have to find another way to motivate myself to get some of it done. And then I will also maybe need to do some more regular videos. Maybe I'll try to do a couple a week for a few weeks. I was fighting with some burnout for a while, but definitely feeling a lot better now. So yeah, hope this was helpful, and everyone have a great Thanksgiving if you're based in the States. If you're not based in the States, never hurts to be thankful and stuff your face with good food. All right. Bye, friends.